Hello and welcome to On the Record. I'm your host, Jerome Sawyer, and this episode is coming to you from Toronto, Canada. We are on the road with the Ministry of Tourism at their global sales mission. We're going to take a look at what the ministry is doing to try and maintain the numbers, how they're trying to get into new markets, build new relationships and partnerships, and also maintain some of the more established partnerships, some of which have been around since 1968. We're also going to take a look at the people behind the scenes who work almost tirelessly to make this all happen. This is On the Record. I'm your host, Jerome Sawyer. We're on the road again. We've got lots to tell you. We'll be back right after this. Tourism Investments and Aviation is taking its message north to the heart of Canada. This summer, the ministry launched a strategic mission to Montreal and Toronto to strengthen travel partnerships and showcase the Bahamas as the ultimate year-round escape for Canadian travelers. It's more than just a sales trip, it's a full-scale campaign rollout with meetings, ceremonies, and high-energy trade events. We joined the ministry's delegation, invited as part of a media group to witness firsthand how this mission is opening new doors for Bahamian tourism. A bright morning in Montreal, we caught up with Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honourable Chester Cooper, fresh from his meeting with one of the Bahamas' longest-standing airline partners, Air Canada. I want to start out with your meetings this morning and really what were some of the outcomes from that meeting this morning with Air Canada.
So we're here in Montreal on our mission to Canada. We see potential opportunity. There have been some changes in the world. We want to touch base with our stakeholders, our partners. Today we had a meeting with Air Canada. We had great discussions about the potential new airlift that's coming. We're having a new service from Ottawa to Nassau and from Halifax to Nassau. We have increased capacity from Toronto as well as directly from Montreal. So Air Canada has been our partner for 78 years. They continue to do very well in the Bahamas market, and we're looking to see how we can grow stopovers from Canada to the Bahamas. We're excited about the possibilities. We have a strong partnership with Air Canada, and we're looking to see how we could continue to bolster this relationship. They go into Nassau Paradise Island, but also into Georgetown, Exuma. That flight has continued notwithstanding Sandals closure. And they also have a flight into San Salvador. We're looking to see how we can expand routes to other islands of the Bahamas as well. So we will continue to work closely with them to engage and to nurture the partnership that we've enjoyed for almost 8 decades.
As you have these discussions and you're talking about the increasing airlift to New Providence, how much of the family islands is really factoring into that, and how important is that towards the mandate of increasing the numbers to those islands?
Well, we're going to be making an announcement later this week as well of another airline coming to the Bahamas directly from Canada. Give me a few days, I'll tell you some more. But the reality is that we want to continue to promote our 16-island destination. We are advancing our lifetime campaign this week and last week in Florida to let the world know that we're not just one island, but we are a lifetime of them. And therefore we are encouraging our partners to also fly directly into the major corridors like Naughty Lutra, Governor's Harbor, Exuma, Abaco. And from there we know that we can get smaller commuter airlines to push that traffic outward towards the rest of the islands. So we're confident about the future and airlift out of Canada, and we're excited about possible meetings we're going to have with WestJet, Sunwing, and other airlines as well in Canada.
Have you made significant progress in trying to fill that gap left by Silver Airways? I know when you were in Florida the other day, you spoke to the media about it, but have you made any substantial progress since then in trying to fill that?
Firstly, before Silver even announced that it was discontinuing, we were proactive in speaking with many of our partners like Aztec and Makers Air and American Airlines and others about potential opportunity in some of the markets they now serve. For example, Makers Air is going to go into Cat Island in November. This is going to be good for the Cat Island market. The new small resorts like Curly's Beach Resort will benefit, as well as the myriad of other Bahamian-owned resorts. You asked though about Silver Airways. Their discontinuance is going to create a void, yes, but we have our national flag carrier, and we are already launching new services. Georgetown to Fort Lauderdale. We're looking at the other routes as well, Naughty Lutra, and we are also looking at Abaco and Grand Bahama as well, increasing capacity in these routes. So we are fortunate that we have Bahamas Air that can mobilize very quickly, and as soon as today we're starting some of those flights. So I'm excited that we've been able to respond quickly. We're also talking about American Airlines about going into Bimini. They've already agreed to go into Bimini. It's just now a question of timing and a few logistical issues related to the construction of the airport. But we're making good progress on this front, and we're going to ensure that we continue to work along with our partners to bridge the gap. Aztec, an airline that provides smaller planes, 9-seaters, they're committed to going into Abaco, and they've started this week, I believe, as well, with a daily service. This is going to be important. Abaco has been one of our fastest growing destinations in terms of airlift, second only to Grand Bahama. So we want to keep that momentum going, and certainly our partners are working closely with us. They see the opportunities that we do.
What kind of potential do you see for tourism in the Canadian market? When I talk about potential, I'm also talking about the type of tourist that would come, and what are some of the things that you would expect that they would do?
Canadians like adventure. They like off the beaten path experiences. They like to come and relax with their families, ideally in family all-inclusive hotels. So there are some opportunities there in that space for the creation of all-inclusive properties. I've said this during my budget debate. I want to say that again so that Bahamians understand where the trends are. We are significantly increasing airlift to the Bahamas. Air Canada is increasing its capacity and flights by 50%. This is tremendous, a great opportunity for travel to the islands of the Bahamas. So they are going not just to Nassau Paradise Island, but they're going to all of the islands that they can explore, where there is adventure, where there's beach opportunities, sustainable tourism. They're very conscious travelers, and therefore we expect that many of the communities all across the islands of the Bahamas will experience the new travelers from Canada to the Bahamas. Bahamas Air, of course, is critical, and we are ensuring that there is the proper interline between Air Canada and Bahamas Air to be able to get the traffic out to the 16 island destinations, so that not just Nassau Paradise Island benefit, but we're going to ensure that every Bahamian, every small resort, every Airbnb, vacation rental operation throughout the islands can feel the opportunities that we will bring to the islands of the Bahamas from Canada.
It's a city with considerable French colonial history dating back to the 16th century. The French Canadians are the majority population here, and the city itself is said to be the second largest French-speaking city in the world behind Paris, a designation, though, that is sometimes questioned.
From the boardroom to the ballroom, we made our way through the gorgeous city of Montreal to the first of 3 major trade and media events. The venue, the acclaimed Jerome Sawyer Europa, where the ministry's team rolled out a welcome worthy of the islands themselves. After opening remarks, we spoke with Mikala, the ministry's general manager of sales for Canada and China, about what it takes to orchestrate an event of this scale.
Tell me about what goes into putting an event like this together. This is the first of several, but really what goes into the background to get this ready?
So many things, Jerome. There are so many things that happen. We as a sales team, a media, communications team, our romance, our groups team, everyone, all hands on deck, come together. We make sure that the dates work first and foremost for our Deputy Prime Minister and our Director General, and then we hit the ground running, finding the venues, making sure that our partners are able to join us, identifying travel agents or industry partners to also attend, whether it's travel advisors, whether it's group and meeting planners, romance planners. They're all very important to moving this tourism product and also making sure that the product is shared with more people in this market, specifically in Montreal, in French and in English. Leisure travelers and meeting travelers, business travelers, group travelers, small groups as well as large groups. We want to make sure that all of the sectors of the markets are covered. Our vertical markets are also important, even from Canada. You know, people think that it's only Florida that has boaters, divers, fishers, but interest is also here. And so making sure that instead of them going to the lake, which might be 62 degrees, they're coming down to the ocean, which is nice and warm at 75.
And why is it important for folks to actually come to this event? People see this and they think, oh, it's just a big cocktail party. But why is it important for folks to actually come and interact and be here?
Interaction, that's the key word. Tourism and the business of travel is a very personal business. It's a very hands-on business. And we've been introduced to the internet, and it's phenomenal and amazing to be able to have the information at the tip of your fingers, whether it's booking your travel through an online travel agent, travel operator, and jumping on that plane and getting into your hotel and them knowing your name. But coming to an event like this and meeting the hotelier, meeting the manager of that hotel that you have booked clients to, and your clients have come back to you and said, we had a phenomenal time, we want to go back again next year, makes a difference because it's that relationship now that you're building. So aside from the cocktail experience, we want them to hear our voices and the tenor of our voice so that they know we are not just speaking words, but we are speaking from the heart. We want them to see the sights of the Bahamas that we have brought here, whether it's in the visuals, the videos, the images that we have, or even with the surprise at the end of the night like Junkanoo. We want them to hear what the Junkanoo sounds like as well and experience what that feels like to hear the drums, to hear the horns, to feel the rhythm, and to see the communal look on everyone's face as to how that is being received. We want them to know us by name, not just by email. And so having an event like this is very important so that they know all of us in the chain of who make this tourism engine a success.
Is there a challenge when you are, or what is a challenge, I should say, when you are trying to promote a country in multiple languages? So we are we speak English, we are an English-speaking country, but here it is today. You're in Montreal, where the predominant language is French, but you're still trying to sell an English-speaking destination.
Yes. Well, travel is everybody's business. Tourism is everyone's business in the Bahamas, but travel is an experience that is not bound by language. It is an experience that is about hospitality, about feeling welcomed, even if you don't understand the words. You can receive the sentiment, and so we're sharing the sentiment, despite Montreal and Quebec being French-speaking or French-dominant, they do speak English here as well. They appreciate the fact that we try our very best to speak a little bit of French, but they know that we're an English-speaking country, and they come despite the fact that many of our vendors are only English-speaking. Again, the sentiment is there. The beautiful thing about technology now is all of us have an app that translates things, and so if ever stuck in a situation, a translation app is available. And we also have a lot of operators in the destination that have partners that speak multiple languages. So if there are French travelers that want someone to give them a tour in French, we can find that for them. We also have people in tourism that speak French way better than I do. And so if we need that assistance in destination, we make sure we make that happen. The beauty about our Bahamas Specialist program is we also have it translated into French, as well as our website, bahamas.com. So again, the sharing of information in the language that they're comfortable in is doable, but the sentiment and the feeling of being welcome is something that knows no language barriers. And so we hope we have gotten the sentiment across that we are so delighted to have them welcomed into our multi-island destination.
Canadians are no longer looking to the United States for travel. They are looking elsewhere, and the numbers are already showing that. One, have you seen the interest level increase, and how are you planning to capitalize on that?
Well, the short answer is the interest increase has been evident by the airlines who have increased their airlift or announced the increase of their airlift come this winter. So we've seen our airline partners shift their aircraft into our destination, and that bodes well for making sure that our airlift is full of tourists this winter coming down from multiple gateways, not just Toronto and Montreal, but also Ottawa and Halifax this year, which is huge for the destination. I believe that there will be more increase in interest because we are so close to Canada, less than 3 hours away. Most Canadians don't book 7 months in advance to come to the Bahamas. It might end up being 30 days out before they decide, you know what? It's a little bit hot and sticky in Toronto and Montreal right now. It's a little bit of a heat wave going on. I prefer cool breeze in the Bahamas than hot, sticky air in Montreal. And so, 2 days from now, or maybe even this Friday, they're going to jump on that Air Canada flight and come down to Nassau and hopefully island hop into Eleuthera or down to Exuma or over to Freeport or any of our other islands that we have easy connections for.
Final question. I'm always amazed when I come to these events, the amount of people that are working for the Ministry of Tourism on the ground in other countries. I want you to speak to that for a moment, and really that work that goes on constantly that we at home don't see.
It is constant. It really is. It's important to be in the neighborhood of the people that you're selling the destination to. And again, the connections and the connectivity and the relationship building is why it's so vital for us to have an office in Canada in particular. Canada is the second largest country on the globe, but its population is pretty moderate, about 30 million people in Canada, 30 to 40 million. So being here and being present with our partners who are also here, our airline partners like Air Canada, WestJet, Sunwing, our hotel partners like Sandals, like Atlantis, like Greycliff is here today as well. We've got Chat and Chill from Exuma is here. They come up when we are able to host an event like this, even if they don't have representation here full time. We've got our friends from the Out Island Promotion Board here. Nassau Paradise Island Promotion Board is here. That connectivity as well amplifies the volume of the Bahamas messaging across the board. And so whenever we can host an event like this or make our partners aware of events similar to this, to let them know, hey, we're gonna touch people, we're gonna be face to face finally again and share the beauty of our country, the warmth of our people, and make sure that the agents that are selling the destination and the people that are traveling to the destination know that we welcome them with open arms, always, year round.
The evening was a celebration of culture, connection, and opportunity. A night to mingle, share ideas, and plant seeds for the next wave of Canadian visitors. And with Toronto on the horizon, it was an early night for the team. After the break, we sit down with the woman leading this charge. She reveals what makes this campaign so special. The next morning, we touched down in Toronto, ready to hit the ground running. Between back-to-back meetings with industry leaders, we sat with the Director General of Tourism, Latia Duncombe, the woman at the helm of this mission, to get to the heart of the strategy.
So DG, first of all, I want to begin with this mission. And what, in your mind, differentiates this market and the potential of this market from many of the others you've been in so far?
Jerome, Canada is very important to the islands of the Bahamas. And when I make that statement, we've had a Bahamas tourist office in Canada from 1968, before independence. We've had a relationship with Air Canada for 78 years. Consistent flights coming into the destination. And that's significant. We've had boots on the ground, looking at our key source markets, and we've seen the results. If you look at our stats alone, 2024 represents 50% more than 2023. And certainly 2025 is very strong. Fall of this year, we're going to see 26 non-stop flights from Toronto into the Bahamas, New Province specifically. So when we look at Canada and the fact that you're going to now see more lift, increase airlift and capacity from multiple cities, that is very significant to the destination. So what the mission does, it creates the awareness. It reminds everyone about the islands of the Bahamas, and also lets them know through our campaign and the word on the ground that we're sharing, it's not just one island, it's a lifetime of them. Canadians have been used, or they've been known to enjoy the outdoors. Sustainability, adventure tourism, ecotourism. They've also supported our out islands. And so you'd see a number of them as homeowners, second homeowners, or in some of the different communities throughout the islands, whether it's San Salvador, Long Island, Grand Bahama is very popular as well. So they know and love our islands. And so for us, it's a perfect relationship. When you look at the menu of options that we have as a destination, the 16 islands that we actively promote, it's just a perfect marriage, Canada and the islands of the Bahamas.
So getting them there is half the job, or the beginning of the job.
It's already completed,
all right.
And they're on the way, and now for us it's a show and tell.
Which brings me to my next question. Once they get there, what is the ministry doing to ensure that these experiences live up to what you're presenting at these missions?
So first of all, let's take one step back before we move forward. I always talk about Bahamas.com because it's our website, translated into 5 different languages. And it's where you can find places to stay, things to do, the latest updates on all of our festivals across all of the islands. We also curate itineraries for our visitors as well. And we also have an amazing people-to-people program. And this year we're celebrating our 50th anniversary. The people-to-people program allows our visitors to have a day in the life of a Bahamian. So whatever it is we do that day, our visitors enjoy it. And if we're hanging with our family or reunion with our friends, going to fish fry, whatever it is that we do, our visitors are able to enjoy it. So as you make the decision to travel, Bahamas.com, we help you to curate that itinerary. Now, once you're on the island, there are a lot of places to see. There are a lot of places to go. And we also always encourage our locals, be a part of the process. You have more than 40,000 visitors in Nassau, busy cruise day. You have the stopover visitors now traversing downtown and throughout the different museums and places. So be a part of it. There are products, there are services that are available. If it's someone that wants something more nature-based, we have those types of activities. If it's water-based, you can swim with the sharks, you can have an amazing time in the destination. So again, it's based on the visitor preference and their profile, and then we can curate that itinerary that's tailored for them.
I want to go back though to the family islands and what is being done, because a lot of times it's easier for the folks in Nassau to be able to provide experiences because the amenities are there, the things are there. But is there a support in place for the folks in the family islands to ensure that they're able to meet the needs of these visitors, whatever they may be when they come in?
Absolutely. And I also want to share, Jerome, that visitors want an authentic experience. That's what they want. And so you find that community-based tourism is evident, it's real. The Mission for Mangroves is successful. The Coral is Calling, that's another initiative that is successful. Those things that we've historically done, that's a part of our DNA, that's what they want to be a part of. And so through the Tourism Development Corporation, That's an entity, an engine that's designed to help micro, small, medium-sized businesses, or even those that want a business or want to become a part of the business. And then there's a small business development center. So reach out to us, contact us. We have entities and programs and associations or engines in place to help our Bahamians to be a part of the process. The islands are ideal, the out islands, because they want those nature-based activities. They want to swim with the stingrays in Grand Bahama. They want to swim in Dean's Blue Hole, where we have recorded more than 50 free dive world records. We have the mangroves in Andros. So those things that we see every day, they can be monetized. And that's where we come in. We can help package, promote, and we saw that very clearly with the Andros Island Cluster Project. It started off as a cluster project. It's now the Andros Island Collective with more than 100 different businesses now have a digital footprint that they never had before. They're on social media. The world is able to hone in and book because of the assistance and the support that we've been able to give to them. So when we speak about the 16 islands, it's making sure the uniqueness and the strengths of those islands are preserved and marketed and promoted for what they represent, and the world can come and enjoy it.
I have watched in awe sometimes the way that your staff works at these missions and at these events, and these are the things that the areas the public does not see. From your perspective, though, what really goes into pulling these events together and the work that your staff does, what is that like?
First of all, Jerome, I would like to thank our Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, because he's in the trenches with us and he supports us every step of the way. So I really want to thank him for all of his support. And secondly, I have an amazing team, 400 employees, and whether they are in our island offices throughout the Family Islands or our 7 international offices globally, Jerome, the support, we could not do what we do in this ministry, in this industry, if it were not for them. I mentioned before that we had a Bahamas tourist office in Canada from 1968. So we really stand on the shoulders of all of those who have contributed and that it's gone on before, and we're grateful for all of their contribution. When we have these missions from inception, from the planning, from we determine what the dates are, it's non-stop until after the event. It's important that we bring the Bahamas to whatever city we've decided that we're going to visit. And so yes, you will have Jondeisha, you'll have a taste of the Bahamas, you'll have that experience, you'll have the latest update, every single thing about the 16 islands that we actively promote. And so those women and men that work tirelessly for us, from sending out the invitation, to handling the production, to working the AV behind the scenes, to setting up the decor. So you see them sometimes in stilettos, and then you see them sometimes in tennis shoes lifting boxes. But that's what we do. And we count it a privilege to serve and to represent the Bahamian people. Tourism is our #1 industry. And there's no one to represent the Bahamas like a Bahamian.
How important, though, is it to bring that indigenous experience, the Duncombe, the food, for people to be able to taste, feel, and experience that? Why? Because why is that so important? Why does that make the difference? And I say it because I spoke to some travel agents last night, and they expressed to me that this was one of the best they'd ever been to. And they mentioned the food, the music. Why is it important, despite the cost, to bring them to bring them to those?
It's all about the experience. It's all about understanding the culture of the Bahamas. And Jondeisha is a part of our culture. I can show you beautiful imagery of the Bahamas. I can show you what Bay Street looks like from a screen, but it's nothing like the pulsating sounds of the goatskin drums, the cowbells, the whistle, the dancers, and they all come together. It's a taste. And that's important because it leaves them wanting more. It shows to them that while we may have thousands on Day, New Year's Day, we're gonna bring a team of 10 that's just as powerful, just to give you a taste of our culture. And so junking was extremely important. Our mixologists, our chefs, when they travel with them, you have a taste of the islands of the Bahamas. So there's no confusion about where you are. For that moment in time, you're in the destination, and those create memories. Those experiences are what our individual visitors remember forever. It's those experiences that's so important.
Tonight you are hosting specifically the media. Media, travel, leisure tour. Why the emphasis on that group specifically?
Remember now, they're going to be the ones to help us share our story. And so it's always important to make sure they are as updated as possible with all the latest information and news about the destination, about the 16 islands, about our new lifetime campaign, about Junction, about our culture, our heritage, but what's new in the destination. And once they are informed, then they can share with their clients. So for us, it's that effect, and we've seen that successful in many of the other missions. And so for us, this is a people business. We have to stay connected, we have to network. These same individuals have many global destinations to sell. We must ensure that whenever they think about sending someone to a destination or recommending a destination, that the Bahamas is always top of mind. And that's why these events are so important. So they're going to experience our food, they're going to enjoy our drinks, and they're going to have a taste of Jondeisha.
Even as the campaign unfolds, signs of success are already taking flight. During the mission, it was announced that Porta Airlines will launch non-stop service from Canada to Nassau, starting in late 2025, with routes to Toronto, Ottawa, and Hamilton. It's a direct result of strengthened partnerships and growing Canadian demand, perfectly aligning with the ministry's vision to expand air connectivity. When we come back, the lights, the music, the flavors, we take you inside Toronto's trade event where Bahamian talent and culture take center stage. If the meetings laid the groundwork, the trade show brought the Bahamas to life. From the moment guests stepped inside, they were met with vibrant sights and sounds and tastes of islands, all designed to give Canadians a true preview of what awaits them at home. We spoke first with Rissie Demeritte, the ministry's Global Communications General Manager for Toronto, about the work behind the scenes to create such a dynamic experience.
So Rissie, first of all, let's talk about what goes into putting an event like this together.
It takes months and months of planning. There's a lot of logistics that's involved. As you can imagine, we are various different BTOs working with various different territories and coming together as a team to get an amazing event done. And it's not just, the pretty pictures that you see. It is looking at the branding and making sure that we're telling the right story. And the story for this particular mission is letting people know that it's not just one island, it's a lifetime of them. And what does that mean? It means capitalizing on multiple different experiences that you can experience over and over again. But going back to logistics, it takes an extremely large team to get it done. Long hours, long days, but we all understand the goal, and I think that's the most important part of everything that we do with this.
You wear multiple hats. You're head of communications, you're on the logistics side, and you're hosting on stage.
I am. I think that's a skill set of being in on the communications team. You have to be able to speak, you have to be able to pivot at any time. But hosting is one of my absolute favorite things to do, outside of putting the branding together and making sure that people see the story again that we're putting out there.
And how important is this to selling the Bahamas, selling the destination, selling the experience? People can read about it, they can look at the photos online, but when they come, how important is it to really helping the work of the ministry?
Well, the one thing that we sell so often is the people and the culture, and being here with us and seeing how excited we are to share our story to talk about our islands and the hospitality between all of us here at the Ministry of Tourism. That's number one.
Do you consider yourself an ambassador?
I do, and a proud one at that.
Does it give you a particular sense of pride to carry the Bahamas the way you do?
Oh, absolutely. I am just so proud to work in the Ministry of Tourism. I can tell you that, and this may be a little embarrassing, but before I came to the Ministry of Tourism, I don't think I really explored what we had in our backyard. But being a part of this organization has shown me so much. I have been exposed to so much, and I am so excited and honored to be able to share what I know about my own culture.
Do you think most Bahamians get an appreciation for what you are?
I think it's hit and miss. I do think that they see the hard work, especially when we're putting those stories out there, whether it's press releases, whether it's what we're doing on social media. They're getting the gist, but I'm so glad that you're here so you can showcase from your perspective what it is that we do and how hard that we work. And I want Bahamians to be extremely proud of us as well.
Vendors from across the Bahamas showcased everything from culinary delights to craft cocktails. Among them, Kendrick Delaney, owner of the new Duff, who shared how events like these align with his plans for international expansion.
All right, so Kendrick, first of all, tell us about your involvement here today and how are you supporting this initiative and this effort by the ministry?
So the Ministry of Tourism, I reached out to them. I'm really a fan of the Bahamas. As you know, the new Duff has been the thing that I want to celebrate most about the Bahamas, and I felt it would do well at an event like this. I'm opening in Toronto as well, and I thought that by meeting all the media, meeting all the press, the people who are able to send followers to the Bahamas as well as to my restaurant, of course, that it would really be a good fit for both brands.
So opening a location here in Toronto, what is that going to do for the promotion of the Bahamas when you consider that this is an authentically Bahamian dessert that you're promoting?
Absolutely. So the new Duff is more than just a dessert, I feel. The new Duff is an idea. It's showing the innovation of Bahamians. It's also showing how, I've lived overseas in Singapore, the US, and different places, and I've brought those things back. I believe a brand is so powerful, and the Bahamas brand is very powerful in the world. So to be able to add to that with culinary tourism is a big deal for me.
So an event like this, when you're promoting the Bahamas as well, particularly the culinary side of it, why is that important to the work that the ministry is doing?
It's important because food is a big part of our culture. In fact, that's why I've renamed my company Grand Bahama here in Toronto, because our grandmothers have passed down so many food and so many menu items to us just orally. A lot of people don't know this, but Duff came by way of sailors during the worst period of time in the Bahamas, which was the slavery period. And all of those women, all of those grandmothers, all of those matriarchs found a way to leave the most loving legacy in this sweet dough recipe for us. And I feel like I'm just a part of that story. I want to take this dessert to the world. My mission is to make Duff as familiar as a cinnamon roll or an apple pie. Why not?
You already started that in some ways with your experience in the Bahamas. I heard you talking about it earlier and how visitors come to your location. So tell us about that and how that's impacting the people that come.
Absolutely. So the new Duff is, it's not the traditional Duff or the old-fashioned Duff. Instead of making it large, I make them individual. And I think that is one of the key components that has allowed me to scale up very quickly. So that's our store on West Bay Street actually shows Duff processing from the beginning, from the guavas to the dough, to the kneading, to how we fold it in, how we steam it, and of course you get to try it afterwards. And what I'm doing now with the same dough recipe is all of our breakfast sandwiches, our French toast, and then my favorite is our steamed bao buns, which we make with jerk chicken, curry goat, and different fillings like that.
Awesome. And tell us about your Toronto location. I'm really interested in that and how that is coming along.
To be frank, I'm starting off scrappy in Toronto. I want to intentionally. I want to make sure I get to know the market well, understand where do I need to be. I don't want to just repeat any mistakes. As an entrepreneur for the last 8 years, I kind of figured out how to do the recipe. And so this summer I'm doing a ton of pop-ups across the city. I've already done a few, and I'm partnering with Old Nassau here in Toronto, which is another Bahamian restaurant. She sells traditional Bahamian cuisine. She's been the best help, Kay, and she's actually my ghost kitchen. I'm operating with her to go out and pop up like I am today. So that's my mission. And then by the end of the year, I'm hoping to have my first retail store.
Echoing those sentiments was Roberta Garzaroli of Greycliff, who emphasized the importance of partnerships like these for those businesses who don't have the big global marketing dollars.
You come from, there's some people that have different interests. So, some come because they want a different experience. Some come for the sun and fun. There are, lots of snowbirds that come from Canada. We at Greycliff, they may not stay with us, but they come to our restaurant. They come and enjoy some of the activities, and we see them over and over and over again, which is fabulous. And, we as Greycliff have a Canadian connection because the lady who owned the house in the 50s, built our swimming pool, was from Montreal. So Mrs. Killam, as eccentric as she was our Canadian connection.
Definite connection. And how important is the partnership with the Ministry of Tourism? You're always at these events, they always have you there. It's an ongoing partnership. How important is that for the support that you need?
It's important because, particularly for a small property like ours, we don't have a huge advertising budget like the big hotels. So we take, when we can, we participate in these events because it gives us exposure to various activities, new partnerships, renew certain partnerships, because I don't have the ad budget such as an Atlantis or a Baha Mar to do television advertising, print advertising all over the world. I don't have that money. So I need to be present and take advantage where I can between the Bahamas or the Nassau Paradise Island Promotion Board. We try to participate in as many activities as possible with them to maximize our budget.
And of course, no Bahamian celebration would be complete without a touch of mixology magic. Celebrity mixologist Marv Cunningham brought the flavors of the islands to the glass, capturing the essence of the Bahamas in every sip.
Well, our guests here tonight in Toronto, they are in for a treat. We have 3 very delicious Bahamian-inspired offerings. The first one is a 7-year-old Mangola cocktail. It's called a Lifetime in the Sun. The second one is Bloom in Paradise, which is made with fresh coconut water, fresh lime juice, hibiscus, and gold pepper. And our third offering is a Sip to Remember, which is made with soursop. So, everyone has been asking about the soursop. What is soursop? And I told them it's the peanut without the colada. So I think it's a very good way to introduce them to the flavors of the Bahamas.
So you talk about flavors. So why is this experience so important for folks to have when they come to an event like this?
It is very important for them to experience this because they are going to not just guess or have an idea, what am I going to get when I go to the Bahamas? They know when they get to the Bahamas, they're having a true and authentic Bahamian culinary experience. That is my job here, and I want to introduce everybody that walks up to this bar. Hey, this is Marv. I'm from the Bahamas. This is what we have to offer. We are the best. We are luxury. It's as simple as that.
Do you consider yourself an ambassador when you come to an event like this?
I am definitely an ambassador. I do consider myself an ambassador when I do travel on behalf of the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation. I have a responsibility in the field that I am in to ensure that, it's more than just making a cocktail. It's about hospitality. It's about making sure that everybody feels safe. They're in a safe space. People love to talk over, cocktails. They love to talk over, dinner. And as a culinarian, that is my job, and that is what I seek to do.
When you're coming to an event like this, and you have to do multiple events and greet a lot of people, how do you prepare mentally, and what things do you bring that make it an authentic experience?
Well, what makes it authentic, I spend a lot of time. Not when I'm traveling for these events, but when I'm at home, when I have time on my hands, I'm doing a lot of research. I'm playing around with flavors. I'm creating new concepts. A drink that I made 6 months ago may not be trending 6 months from now. The world is always changing, and this is why, persons like myself, culinarians, and my chef colleagues, we are in the kitchen, we are in the lab, and we are cooking up the next great cocktail and the next great Bahamian entree.
People traditionally know chefs or look at chefs, people who create food and meals as creators of great cuisine. But you have really introduced a whole other concept, and that's the mixologist. And I think you were one of the first people that I knew who was doing this. Everybody knew the bartender. That was fine. You went to the bar, you got a drink. But you brought a whole different concept to the Bahamian landscape. And when you think about that, do you see yourself in some ways as a trailblazer?
I definitely do see myself as a trailblazer. I looked at the product. I live in the Bahamas. I know what we have to offer. But I realized in my traveling, since I love to travel, I'm a foodie. I'm a cocktail enthusiast. So I know what was missing from the product, authenticity. You know, going to a bar and ordering a Mai Tai or ordering a Long Island iced tea or Long Beach, those cocktails are good in their own right. But I do feel like when you visit our shores, you should have a true authentic Bahamian experience, a true authentic drinking experience. What does that stem from? From the spirits that we produce in the Bahamas to, ingredients that you can find right at Bamsey, or you can, one of our people-to-people ambassadors, you can go right in the back of their backyard and you can pick up some, fresh fruit or some fresh herbs and make a cocktail out of that. This is who we are. This is what separates us from everybody else. And I'm very happy to know that I've started a trend, and I will continue to, take what I know and take it to the world.
From Montreal's intimate welcome to Toronto's high-energy showcase, this mission proved one thing: the Bahamas is more than a vacation destination. It's a vibrant collection of experiences ready to be discovered year-round. As the Ministry of Tourism strengthens its Canadian ties, the promise is clear. The warmth of the islands isn't just in the sunshine, it's the connection we share with visitors from around the world.
From the outside, it would seem like a brand like the Bahamas really sells itself. But we hope in this episode we've given you an opportunity to see what all goes into it. It's not just about putting out the advertising. It's not just about the billboards. It's about actually getting in there, feeling, touching, entertaining, and giving people a real glimpse of what the Bahamas has to offer. Ministry of Tourism team is to be congratulated for the tremendous work that they do in city after city, and they continue to bring those numbers year after year. So that's going to do it really for our episode here from Toronto. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've learned some stuff. Again, as always, thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, I'm Jerome Sawyer.